A very good evening and salam Sarawak Kusayang. You're now watching TVS News and these are the headlines. Malaysians urged to watch Malaysia Day via live telecast. Chief Minister says you touch one, you touch all. Kid goes on a road rampage. Fellow Malaysians are urged to watch the live broadcast of Malaysia Day through television and avoid visiting the Cebu closed stadium on September 16 as the COVID-19 pandemic has not subsided.
Walaupun sederhana tetapi sangat dan persiapan
The live will be broadcast through RTM channel, Astro Awani and TV Sarawak starting 8:30 p.m. The event will be attended by Sarawak's Head of State Tun Pehin Sri Abdul Taib Mahmud, Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin and Chief Minister of Sarawak Datuk Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg. In accordance with the new norms, the celebration will only be attended by around 500 guests with tight security at each doors. In addition to the address by Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin and Datuk Patinggi Abang Johari, the ceremony will also be enlightened with the signature ceremony of Malaysia Day, followed by live performance and showcasing videos. The Minister of Utility of Sarawak, who is also the event's chairperson, Datuk Sri Stephen Rundi, at a press conference held in Cebu said, it is important to continue celebrate the upcoming Malaysia Day despite the constraints faced.
Walaupun kita rasa itu bukan cara biasa kita merayakan sesuatu yang kita anggap besar artinya kepada orang-orang Malaysia. Jadi pada kali ini kita juga tidak terkecuali untuk menunjukkan semangat kemalaysiaan itu, semangat setia kepada negara. Semua lapisan masyarakat, semua pimpinan kaum menunjukkan betapa kita menghargai pembentukan Malaysia ini membawa kesejahteraan kepada Sabah, Sarawak dan juga rakyat di seluruh Malaysia.
It is evident that Parti Sarawak Bersatu PSB has no more interest in cooperating and is now frolicking on its own against GPS. The Coalition Party Chairman Abang Johari Tun Openg posted a stern warning through GPS's policy of you touch one, you touch all, as PSB's actions are also against GPS's efforts to unite Sarawakians.
PSB's President Datuk Sri Wong Sun Koh on Monday fired back at Abang Johari's comment that PSB was made up of disgruntled politicians even though he did not clearly refer it to any parties. Commenting on the remarks, Chief Minister Abang Johari explained that when SUPP suffered the split after the 2011 state elections, the then Barisan Nasional BN leadership had decided that its problems should be solved amicably by the disputing parties as it was not the state coalition's policy to interfere with the internal problems of its members. He added that the fact that Wong's group was allowed to use the BN symbol in the last general election spoke volumes of the leadership's desire to unite the Chinese. After taking over the leadership from Pehin Sri Adnan Satim, Abang Johari said he has continued with the policy where Datuk Sri Wong was retained as a minister for the sake of giving time for the two factions to reconcile. Stressing that his policy has always been one of reconciliation ever since SUPP was faced with factional problem. Unfortunately, PSB leadership roped in members of the component parties of GPS, knowing full well that this would jeopardize the teamwork in GPS. Abang Johari also have requested helps from leaders of the community as well as corporate leaders with the reconciliation, but to no avail, and left the matter to the public to judge.
A special unit to oversee issues concerning the vernacular Chinese schools in Sarawak has received consent of the Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg. According to the Federation of Boards of Management for SJK Chonghua of Kuching, Samarahan and Surian Division Chairman Jonathan Chai, the special unit will function similarly like a unit for religions or Unifor.
We are very grateful that Yang Amat Berhormat has consented to our proposal in setting up a special unit looking after the needs and the interests of SJKC in Sarawak. The special unit similar like Unit 4.
He added that Datuk Seri Dr. Sim is to head the unit and will cater to the needs of SJKC in Sarawak. He explained schools can voice up their needs and concerns to the unit, or they can submit applications for assessment and consideration.
Will be headed by Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Dr. Sim. And from now on, whenever there is need from the SJKC in Sarawak, they can voice out or submit their requests to this special unit for assessment and consideration, including requests for financial grant for the extension of school building, and also any land issue encountered by the school.
When pressed for further details regarding the unit, Chai is leaving the matter to be announced by the Chief Minister himself during the officiation of the SJKC Bako next Tuesday. He added that the assistance will benefit the majority of the Chinese primary schools in Sarawak.
It will be announced by YAB. We don't know the detail and the size of the fund or the size of the budget. This will be announced by YAB, hopefully during the opening ceremony of the school. There are all in all 185 SJKC in Sarawak out of the 222 Chinese primary schools. Because among the 222, there are mission schools and also government Chinese schools. But the subsidized or the aided school are 185 in total.
Meanwhile, Chai revealed that Chief Minister Abang Johari Tun Openg is expected to officiate the opening ceremony of SJK Chonghua Bako next Tuesday.
The purpose of our courtesy call was to brief our Yang Amat Berhormat Chief Minister on our preparation for the opening ceremony of SJK Chonghua Bako on the 15th of September, next Tuesday, 10:30. The ceremony will be officiated by YAB.
He said this when paying a courtesy call to the Chief Minister. The delegation also discussed matters concerning issues faced by Chinese schools in Sarawak.
We also had dialogue with him on the issues encountered by the SJKC in Sarawak, in particular on the shortage of funding and the setting up of PIBG as instructed by the Ministry of Education and also the computer class.
Chai expressed hope that the Education Ministry would facilitate Chinese schools in terms of digital adoption in producing skilled human resources as the country moves to become a developed nation.
Sarawak Energy Berhad SEB rectified that the current flooding incidents affecting downstream areas including Kanawit and Sibu were not from the regulated discharge of water from Bakun Hydroelectric Plant as speculated. As such, the flood was due to the combination of unseasonal localized heavy rainfall coupled with the king tide.
In a statement, Sarawak Energy dictates that Bakun Hydroelectric Plant plays a major role in mitigating the severity of flooding downstream of the Rejang River by balancing both upstream reservoir and downstream water level during rainy season. The last controlled water release operation from the Bakun Hydroelectric Reservoir commenced on August 9th and ended on August 22nd. SEB also has a dedicated team that continuously monitors water levels at the reservoir and downstream rivers on a daily basis. Advice will be obtained if there is a need for controlled release in consultation and permission from Sarawak Rivers Board and Sarawak Department of Irrigation and Drainage. The statement also reads that when there is a planned, regulated release operation from the spillway, local councils and stakeholders along with the general public will be notified at least 2 days ahead of the scheduled release as per standard practice.
We are appealing on certain class of visitors, probably from Indonesia, and we will announce in due course the outcome of our appeal.
Following the entry ban for countries with more than 150,000 COVID-19 cases, the Sarawak Disaster Management Committee (SDMC) will be appealing to the National Security Council or NSC to allow some Indonesians to enter the state.
According to the committee, this will include diplomats with exemption order, crew members who are undergoing sign-off or joint ship activities, pilots and flight attendants, professionals and semi-skilled workers in the oil and gas industry, as well as citizens who are United Nations, World Health Organization and UN Development Programme passport holders. Sarawak was following the federal government's directive, which take effect yesterday, to ban the people from the 23 countries, including Indonesia, in effort to curb COVID-19. The result of the appeal would be announced as soon as a decision had been made.
7 individuals were caught for allegedly soliciting prostitution and defying the Recovery Movement Control Order or RMCO. Senior Minister of Security Cluster Dato' Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the individuals were among the 873 individuals detained for defying the decree.
Pubs and nightclub activities topped the list with 580 individuals detained. Also detained were 118 individuals who failed to practice proper physical distancing. Others were detained involving 52 individuals who failed to wear face masks, 52 for operating beyond permitted hours, 39 illegal immigrants, 32 for failing to provide customer registration tools, 2 defying quarantine orders and 1 obstructing the duties of a public servant. Of the 873 caught, 797 were compounded, 71 remanded while 5 more were offered bail. However, he said under the Op Benteng, 30 illegal immigrants and 4 smugglers were arrested.
An urgent motion on the issue over Philippines' claim over Sabah must be expedited. The motion was put forward by Senator Adrian Lasimbang in the Dewan Negara sitting on Monday under Standing Order 17-1, as it concerns national sovereignty and is a violation of regional cooperation through ASEAN and in violation of the treaties at the United Nations or UN level.
In his debate, Adrian said the country's claim on Sabah was not new and the matter was raised again on August 20th after the Philippine House of Representatives proposed to include a map of Sabah in the country's passport. He asked for a detailed study of Sabah's history from the government to ensure that it has complete facts and documents to be made by the country. Replying the issue, Deputy Foreign Minister Datuk Kamarudin Jaafar said Sabah is Malaysia's right and this had been proven for a long time through the Cobalt Commission and this had been recognized by the United Nations. Therefore, it is not relevant any foreign parties, including the Philippines, make demands on Sabah.
Meanwhile, Adrian also recommended that a special allocation be channeled to University Malaysia Sabah for the study to be conducted. Apart from that, he also urged the government not to recognize the Philippines passport, which displays the map of Sabah, and to stop those using the document from entering the country.
Recently, Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin has firmly expressed that Malaysia will never concede the Philippines' continuous claim over Sabah.
Moving on to COVID-19 news, for 9 days straight, Sarawak recorded no new COVID-19 cases. State Disaster Management Committee, however, informed to the public to always stay vigilant and always adhere to SOP.
The committee said 2 cases recovered and discharged from the Bintulu Hospital today. This means the total number of recovered and discharged accumulated cases at 676. However, 4 cases are still seeking treatment at the isolation wards, where 2 at Bintulu Hospital, 1 at Sarawak General Hospital and another 1 at Miri Hospital. So far, PDRM has issued 1 compound at Sarike for non-compliance of Standard Operating Procedures (SOP).
Teaching children to be responsible drivers has its perks. However, a recent video of a 9-year-old went viral for the wrong reason in Negeri Sembilan. It was reported that the boy was driving his father's vehicle while traveling along Rembau Road in Negeri Sembilan.
Kelah mana? Kelah mana? Kelah Bengek? Anda kau. Nak pergi mana ni? Okey, jalan.
The video posted on Info Roadblock JPJ Police showed the boy sheepishly smiling when asked who taught him to drive. He attributed the life lesson to his father. Nevertheless, it caught the police attention and legal action has been taken against the boy's father under Section 111 of the Road Transport Act 1987. Meanwhile, another minor in Negeri Sembilan caught on video driving a heavy machinery believed to take place in Rantau. Chief Police of Seremban District ACP Muhammad Said Ibrahim says the police is now actively tracking the child's parent.
Well, that's all the updates for today. Thank you for watching. I'm Razi Ahmad for TVS Anytime, Anywhere.